What up YouTube? This is Steven and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to respond to YouTube users Chrissie's video that she recently posted, and that is entitled How Many Light-Skinned Women Really Feel About Dark-Skinned Women. And for those of you who have not seen the video, you should check it out. But in the video, Chrissie plays a clip of a light-skinned woman who's going on a rant. She sounds very angry in this rant, and she's saying a lot of foul, disrespectful things in regards to dark-skinned women. And this is one of those situations where light-skinned folks really need to speak up and check your people, and like, she is my people, but she ain't my people. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're part of the same group, perhaps, but she don't, like, I ain't fooling with her for her mentality. Her mentality is what separates us. So let me educate this chick right quick. Because she says some really messed up things that really need to be addressed. All right. First, I'll say, no one is specifically angry at you because you're light-skinned and because you're pretty. It's not that. It's not that, oh, some dark-skinned women just saw a light-skinned woman and like, ugh. Like, oh, like, let's get her, let's attack her. Just because she's light-skinned and pretty, And those things, like light skin and pretty, well, at least the pretty part is subjective anyway, right? So it's not because you're quote-unquote light-skinned and pretty that the dark-skinned women have an attitude and have animosity toward you. It's not that. What really is going on here is that dark-skinned women, and probably just dark-skinned people in general, we can apply this, they have animosity and resentment towards the system that says lighter is better. The system of colorism. That's what's really at play here. So when they see you, you are a representation of the system. You represent the system, even though you may not actively, well, you may, from the sound of this video, you may do actively participate in colorism. And perpetuating the system based on what you said in the video. This chick said in the video. And by the way, this response is to Chrissie's video, but it's also more so to the chick that Chrissie was talking about in the video. I don't know if she's on YouTube. I think she's probably on Facebook, but again, I'm just putting this video out here to educate light-skinned people, right? To check and to educate light-skinned folk. Especially this light-skinned woman here. And also some people were saying that she might not even, some people were saying that she doesn't really qualify as light-skinned. I don't know. That's debatable too, because, it can be relative, all right? But I'm just going to treat her as a light-skinned chick, all right? Because she claiming it. She's claiming it. So you're going to get all that comes with being a light-skinned chick, a light-skinned person. All right. All right. So let me get back to educating this chick. All right. They're not mad at you because you're light-skinned and you're pretty. All right. They're mad at you because they're mad at the system. They're mad at, again, the idea of colorism, the idea that lighter is better. They're mad at that. You are a representation of that system. You are the closest thing that they have to that system. So, because they don't like that system, they have animosity and resentment that gets directed your way because you represent that system. Again, it's not your fault. None of us can control the way that we were born at all. It just happens. But they're lashing out at you because of that. Not necessarily just because, oh, there's a light-skinned chick, let's get her. You know, not like that. It's not really like that. By and large, it's not like that. People, you know, darker skinned people in general have some animosity and resentment towards the system that says lighter is better, and that system that is perpetuated throughout the society and even the community that we live in. Even in the black community, though, is like that. Some people say some really foul and messed up things about people who have really dark skin for some reason. And I never understood that, because I'm just thinking like, hey, you know, we're all black. You know, that was kind of like the way I approached the situation, and the way I still approach the situation. But especially when I was younger, because I didn't really have like a concept of colorism at that time. And perhaps she doesn't have a concept of colorism either, but, you know, well, maybe she does. I don't know. All right. But yeah, dark-skinned people, especially dark-skinned women, even within the community, are treated poorly at times. So if you're a dark-skinned person, especially a dark-skinned woman, and you're getting this treatment where it's like, oh, you're dark-skinned, so you're automatically not attractive. You're dark-skinned, so you're automatically aggressive, and you have an attitude problem. You're jealous. You're bitter. Just evil, even. You know, that whole dark is evil, light is good. That whole mentality. So if you're getting all this within the community, you're going to probably have some animosity, some resentment, some aggression towards people who you feel that are the beneficiaries of just like people who benefit from at your expense. So people gonna have some animosity, and I think that's where it's coming from. And of course, granted, some people can just be obnoxious. That's true. Some people can be obnoxious, but I think for the most part, the animosity just comes from living in a system where it's like lighter is better. Again, inside the community, and of course outside the community as well. So you're getting it from both spectrums, or you're getting it from both sides. Like you don't even have a safe place within your own community at times, and that is, you know, that's disturbing when you don't really have a safe place that you can go to. And by the way, based on this video, she's, you know, the light-skinned chick seems like she's really aware of light-skinned privileges from what she was listing out, apparently. Like, oh, you know, don't get mad at us because we take your opportunities and we take your men. Okay, that's not nothing. As far as taking men, I don't think that's something that you should be like boasting about and being proud of, being like a home wrecker, being, you know, the other woman snatching up dark-skinned women's. I don't think that's something to be proud of, and it's something to be bragging about. Maybe she didn't mean it in that sense, but if you're bragging about that, that is something that is indicative of low self-esteem to me. And as far as taking opportunities, okay, if a white person was taking your opportunities away from you that you feel that you deserve, whether it be a white woman, a white man, or even a Rachel Dolezal-esque white person masquerading as a black person, wouldn't you be mad if someone was taking opportunities that was for you, and taking your opportunities to the point where you struggling, or you have it tougher out here? Wouldn't you be mad if people were taking your opportunities? I think that's something that is a valid thing to be mad at, if someone was taking your opportunities. Of course, no one wants their opportunities taken from them. You don't want your opportunities taken from you either. So, because trust me, if this was, you know how if a rich, say like a black guy gets rich, right? And he wants a black woman, but instead of choosing a dark-skinned black woman, he chooses a light-skinned black woman. Do these light-skinned black women be protesting? Do they be all up in arms going crazy? No, no. But if, let's say, this same rich, successful, good-looking black man chose a white woman, oh, they got something to say now. They got a whole lot to say now. So when that white woman took your opportunity away from you, you had something to say and you felt some type of a way about it. So this is the same thing, just in another way. So this dark-skinned woman is speaking up because she feels that perhaps you are taking her opportunities away from her. Again, you've spoken on this. You've addressed this. You've acknowledged this. I think that's something that is valid to be angry about. But I also want to address something else that she said in the video, and that really, really, really needs to be addressed because it's very toxic. It speaks to the sentiment that a lot of people feel about darker skinned people within the community. And she said something to the extent of, oh, it's not light skinned women's fault that you dark skinned women look tainted, black, and dirty. Now, it seemed like she really just, like, forget the light skinned Kool-Aid. She's drinking the white supremacy Kool-Aid at this point, because that's something that I would expect from like some white supremacist subhuman person. Like, I wouldn't expect something like that to come from another black person. To say that a black person's skin looks tainted, looks dirty, looks black. Like, we using black as a negative word? Really? People call themselves black. I'm sure she identifies herself as black. Why are we using that as a pejorative? This is the thing. It's like, how can, like, okay, this is when light-skinned folks need to step up and check their people. Just like we kind of expect, you know, how, oh, these quote-unquote so-called good white folks need to be checking and stepping up and checking their white counterparts, their white folks. This is a situation when light-skinned folks need to be checking their people. All right. So, all right. That whole spiel just really tells me where her mind is at. She's really into this whole light skin is the right skin, like, belief, if you want to call it that. That brainwashing belief. And as well, I think she's really into, like, she's drinking the white supremacy Kool-Aid as well. So she's like, the light skin is the right skin, and also white supremacy. And that's very insulting to cause someone, to look at someone's skin and say that it's tainted and that it's dirty, you know. And it's also insulting to use black as something negative, as a pejorative, as a slur, as an insult. And you're wondering why dark-skinned women are angry at you. They're angry at you because of this. Because you perpetuate BS like this. They're angry at that. They have animosity towards you for that. Not because you are quote-unquote a light skin and pretty. And to keep it real, I'm going to keep it real here. That sentiment that she expressed she ain't the only one who feel that way, though. That's the sad part. It's not like this is the isolated incident. I feel like it's more people who feel this way. That's the sad part. Like she said in the video, they feel this way. They ain't speaking up about it, but they feel this way. That's the sad part. And let me just say that to, you know, the black people, whether you're a black, you know, a dark-skinned black woman, well, specifically to the dark-skinned people, especially if you're a dark-skinned woman, as well if you're a dark-skinned man too. You know, dark-skinned people in general. I just want to say this. Like, this is not, Like, I apologize on behalf of this light skinned person who is spewing this BS that dark skin is tainted, is dirty, is black. Ugh. It's really the opposite, to keep it real. It really is the opposite. It's like, I don't really like, how is dark skin tainted? In what way? I mean, I think dark skin is probably the most resilient skin there is that occurs in nature. I think it's probably the most, like, the strongest skin that can withstand like harmful, like, sun rays. Like, from a biological perspective, it's actually pretty advantageous to have dark skin. It's more so from a social, like the social cultural perspective, that it's stigmatized. It's not like it's a birth defect. It's definitely not. It's not like, all right, this chick needs some education, some more education. And as well, like, dark skin actually does look good. You know, I feel like this is. Let me choose my words wisely, because again, this is a sensitive topic. Obviously, colorism is a sensitive topic. Dark skin is also the right skin. Dark skin looks as good as any other shade of skin, if not better. Dark skin is biologically advantageous depending on the environment you're in, especially when it comes to a very sunny, sun-drenched environment. Is very advantageous to have dark skin, because that's the skin that's going to protect you. And so I don't really view, like, I don't see where the whole tainted thing came from. I don't see, like, how is it tainted. But I don't know. Maybe she was just speaking out of anger and just wanted to cut some dark-skinned women. Cut deep, because maybe she felt like she was attacked or something. Obviously, from the emotion she displayed in the video, she felt like she took what happened to her at that store a little personal, where the dark-skinned women were like, "Oh, these light-skinned bees." I think she really internalized that, and she kind of took that personal, and it kind of cut her a little bit. So she's like, "You know what? Let me cut you." Again, like, hurt people hurt people. So I think that's where the whole lashing out sort of begins anyway, where dark-skinned women are hurt people, so they are trying to hurt other people. And that's not right. But at the same time, can you really blame someone for lashing out at you when they have been constantly attacked, constantly ridiculed, constantly stigmatized? Can you really blame them for attacking you? For saying something like that? I mean, again, from a light-skinned person to another light-skinned person, what I'm about to say may offend some people, but I think it needs to be said. If someone is mad at you specifically because you are light-skinned, depending on that person's position within the community and outside of the community as well, I think that's a valid argument. I know that's probably going to offend some people, but I think that's valid, considering all that goes into colorism, all that colorism affects, all the ways that colorism affects people. I think that is valid. Again, it may not be right, because, again, we don't necessarily have control of the system. We didn't invent the system, but we sometimes actively, but even sometimes passively, perpetuate the system. So I really want to just bring this video to a close. I could go on for longer, but I probably should just bring this video to a close. To sum it up, again, to the light-skinned woman in the video, no one is mad at you because you are light-skinned, even if they were mad at you because you are light-skinned and pretty. It's valid. And as well, I think you really need to check your mentality when it comes to dark-skinned women and also just dark-skinned people in general. Because if you view dark skin as something tainted and dirty, then to an extent, like, why are you here? Why are you in the community if that's the way you feel? If you really feel that it's dark, if it's tainted and dirty, why are you even here in the community? So yeah, that's all I have to say. You know, again, colorism is a sensitive, difficult topic to address and talk about, but it really needs to be addressed and talked about, especially in these situations where light-skinned folks be acting crazy and saying some foul stuff. You know, really, when anyone's saying some foul stuff, you know, especially about dark-skinned people, though. I mean, especially, I mean, if it was light-skinned people, yeah, you know, but especially when it comes to dark-skinned people, people really need to speak up, because it's a quiet little secret, as quiet as it's kept, you know, when it comes to people who have really dark skin inside the community. Like, people in the community do have some nasty things or some messed up things to say about them for some reason, which I think kind of speaks to the brainwashing that we have experienced as a people. You know, and then the brainwashing that we continue to experience as a people. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully this video can help educate somebody, especially that chicken video. Hopefully you can get something out of this video. So thanks a lot for watching. Adios, say goodbye for now.